There's Purdy in the gun. 3 receivers left. Kittle, Jennings, Debo from in to out. Ayuk is right. Purdy back. Time. Steps around from DeMarcus Lawrence. Throws for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Boy, what a start. First drive for this offense.
They got CeeDee Lamb, the number 3 receiver inside. Now he goes in motion right, followed by Isaiah Oliver. 49ers are tipping man on 3rd and 2. Dak back. Plenty of time. Pumps. Now rolls left. Now he's going to get sacked by Fred Warner and Javon Kinlaw. He's getting the ball out of his hands quick against everybody but the Niners. He held the ball way too long. Here's an end around and a flea flicker. Back to Brock Purdy. Takes a shot down the sideline to George Kittle. Kittle all the way to the end zone. Touchdown!
What's going on, faithful to the Bay? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie. Hey, man, we're coming off of a loss. I don't really know how to go about this, but I'm here to bring you a glimmer of hope, and hopefully we could bounce back and rebound against the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football. This Thursday, right? We got to play again. That's the best part about an L. You can try to, like, especially when you're playing early, you can try to overcome that by getting a dub. It's not going to be easy. And if this version of the 49ers show up in LA, it's going to be another L. So we're going to talk about that, man. Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Shout out to everybody out there. Round of applause to you all the faithful in the building. I'm feeling kind of blah today, so don't mind me if my energy is a little lower than what it normally is. It might not be like caliente hot. It might just be like mild or some junk like that. But I do apologize. Welcome to the show. Make sure you guys smash that like button, all right? If this is your first time watching, please click on the subscribe button. Support the channel by just clicking on subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing. But those that do want to support the channel a little bit deeper, you can become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew by clicking on the join button. And then you will get to take advantage of all the cool perks that we have going on. All right. And I appreciate it, man. You can support just like that, as well as the Cash App, the Venmo, and all those things out there. If you want to support, man, you don't have to. It's all good. But I got to make sure that I'm putting out high quality content every time I go live. And when that stuff don't be working, y'all know I be getting mad. I be like, yo, I'm calling the internet provider. Listen, y'all suck. Let's get this fixed. Like, you know what I'm saying? But guys, man, we're coming off of an L. And before we get into breaking down this game, recapping the game, like just reliving what we just went through, you know. Support our sponsors over at residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezy and you'll save $5 on your total purchase. That $5 save is good because it can come in handy. It might be the shipping, it might be whatever. Either way, you're saving money. So go ahead and check that out. And don't forget to support on the Patreon. Let me just give a huge shout out to the Patreon members. I'm not going to say everybody's name, but we did the live watch party for the third week in a row, live watch party. And I will say that it was another phenomenal success. If you need to want to be a part of the watch party, all you got to do is go to www.patreon.com/TheWayneBreezy. Get the $5 tier. That's the red tier. Red tier will get you into the live watch parties. If you want film study and all that type of stuff, then you're going to have to go with the gold tier. And if you want everything, you know, the super duper package, you go with the black tier and it'll get you everything. But we have fun over there. Jax was in there, X-Man, he was in there, X-Man. We were in there, a couple of new people, Miss Sin was in there, and we were just having a good old one of those times where you just hearing all kinds of beeps and beeps. But it was fun to kind of watch the game and react in real time. Like, it was pretty cool. So shout out to the members of the Patreon over there. All right, look, I ain't gonna waste anybody's time because I know everybody gonna get to take up. But I want to start today's show off with a question. Like, what is the biggest problem of the San Francisco 49ers? What's the biggest problem? You know, and feel free to put in the chat. I'm going to do the shout outs to everybody, the members of the Breezy Bunch crew, and they'll get first priority too. But what was the biggest problem What is the biggest problem of the 49ers? We're going to come back to that. Shout out to Ronnie, 33, man. Appreciate you. Don't bother me in the building. How's everyone in this manic Monday? Yo, shout out to Peachy. Yo, Monday it is manic because we lost. Crazy, right? 49ers throwback. Good morning, faithful. Hit subscribe. Do that, man. Do that, please. Peachy, good afternoon. Breezy, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great show. Shout out to all the members out there, and I'm going to scroll down. I'll try to get to as many member shout-outs as I can. Let's start today's show off. Well, I see my man Ben in the building. Ben sent me some stuff via text message. He says, it's pre-Tuesday, and there's so much to say, but we got L. Time to focus on the Rams. And I like this comment. I'm going to star this, so I'm going to come back to that. You know what I mean? That's super important. Shout out to 49ers Throwback. Get ready, because we getting whipped against the Rams. You know what? Normally, I tell you what. Normally, I clap back. Normally, I do. But let me just say this. If that version, the version that played this Sunday, the lethargic, not really interested, didn't seem like they were together version of the 49ers travel to LA and play that way, I will first I'll give you $2 back, because I agree. Like I agree. I don't know what the hell we witnessed, but that wasn't the 49ers that we were used to watching, at least in the first 3 weeks of this season. It's not the same 49ers. Shout out to Brandy she's a Patriots fan. Her team mollywopped the Carolina Panthers. And we play the Panthers this year, and if we don't beat the Panthers as bad as the Patriots beat the Panthers, I'm going to have questions. I'm going to have questions. But congratulations to the Patriots on getting a dub, and my dumb ass left Drake May on the bench. Guess for who? You would never guess who I benched Drake May for. Caleb Williams. Jack Knox in the building. Hey, Wayne Faithful. Yesterday was tough, but we have a chance to redeem ourselves on Thursday. I actually like the gritty games. It seems we work harder. You know what? I got a question. Do you feel like this was a gritty game? I didn't get anything gritty about this game. I got lazy. I got not interested. This wasn't a gritty game. I feel like the Niners were just like, I don't know. I felt like they were playing super safe. I don't want to get an injury, so I'm not gonna go hard or whatever. They just played weird. It's played super weird. 49er Jeff, we played terrible. But it's Rams week. No time for crying. It's my dog, right? You're my dog. Speaking of that, I still want to know, what is the biggest problem of the 49ers? Because there's so many. I feel like they got 99 problems. You know what I'm saying? And it's all over. It's all over the team. Coaching. And I'm not saying that because of a loss. You had to have known that in the first 3 games that we played, in which they were gritty games and we grinded them out and we found ways to win, you had to have known that was going to come back and bite you in the at some point. Like, at some point, you just got to be dominant. You got to go out there and command a win. Like, we about to beat the not out of a team. I don't get that from this 49ers. That's why I said, Jackson, I don't know if it was gritty. It was more like, we here, And to me, I'm more pissed off at the Niners because that was a disservice to the fans. The fans showed up. Y'all do y'all part every single week. And I don't think a lot of the players were playing on 100 as far as their effort. That's just my take on it. Terrence, what up, baby? Tanisha in the building. What's going on? All right, I asked what was the biggest problem, so I was looking for some answers. Okay, Ronnie, O-line needs to be revamped. O-line gave up 16 pressures in this game. They didn't give up any sacks. How about that? Hold up. No sacks. 16 pressures, 2 quarterback hits, 14 hurries. A lot of people down on Trent Williams. A lot of people down on the offensive line. I totally get it. But they're not as bad as they look And that's weird to say. They're not as bad as they look. They're like certain moments where they do things and it sticks out. Like you get a penalty, you get, and I think it was only one penalty on the 49ers offensive line. I think Drake Brendel got the penalty. But at the end of the day, like pass protection wise, they're not as bad as they look, in my opinion. Now, I don't know what's going on with the run blocking up front. I can't tell you. What's going on with the run blocking up front. And thanks for being first to put what you felt like the biggest problem was out there. We got Natasha in the building. What's going on? Just looking for some more members. Got my man Keith over on Facebook in the live chat, as well as Rosie. What's going on? I asked for a biggest issue. Here we go. 0 sacks on Trevor Lawrence is pathetic. Yo, I tried to tell everybody that losing Nick Bosa, and I'm not saying we would have got sacks with Nick Bosa, but you know what we would have got? We would have got closer to having sacks. We weren't even close. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Yo, there were 5. Wait a minute. This defense had 5 total pressures. Trevor Lawrence was feasting and had all kinds of time, and he didn't even play well. The dude didn't even throw for 200 yards. It was just the throws that he made were efficient because he had the time and overtime to make those specific throws, to let plays develop, guys get open, blah, 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 all that good stuff. We might need to revamp the Nick Bosa situation because he done for the season. I don't know if people remember that, but he got a torn ACL. He ain't coming back to next year. Now, all the people that was like, oh, we don't need to trade for Trey Hendrickson. I got something for you guys. Here we go.
A bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
A bullshit?
Can you say it one more time?
Bullshit.
Yeah, dog. That's what it is. You know why? Because Trey Hendrickson is not Nick Bosa, but he's Trey Hendrickson. And he's going to command attention. The Niners need somebody up front that's going to command attention. We want to see progression from these young players. Either we let them just go through the motions and progress. If they can progress, it's going to be a longer season. Poor Robert Saleh didn't sign up for that, right? And so either we just go through the Band-Aids and all that type of stuff and let these guys get together, or we pay for a rental. You overpay for a rental. I don't know why people think like that rentals are cheap. No, rentals are rentals. If you need to rent something, they're gonna upcharge you. Show me something in life you've rented and you didn't pay more when you could have just went and bought the shit and returned it. Like this, you could have just went. If you're gonna rent something, you're gonna overpay. It's what renting is about. They got places that literally rent stuff like rent to own, rent a center, rent a couch, rent a TV. You ever seen it? Rent a TV? You rent a TV, you paying like 3 times the price you could have went to Best Buy and got the TV for. Hey, man, if the Niners want to continue to compete, I love the youth. I love the movement of the youth. Let me not get that twisted. That is not what I'm not discrediting the youth, but they're going to need some help up front. I think the biggest problem isn't the offensive line. I think the biggest problem is how to generate pressure on the defensive line. 5. There were 5 pressures. 5 pressures. 5 pressures. Now, again, man, there's some upside in this game because, when you look at this team and we recap the game, the Niners lost 25-26. So the Niners lost by 5 points. And let me just explain why I said that it ain't all as bad as it seems, right? Because we're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's not all as bad as it seems. The ugly is the reason why we lost. The bad we still were able to overcome. If you told me that the Niners turned the ball over 4 times and lost by 5 points, that doesn't even make any sense. That the math doesn't even math. Like usually turnovers, and 2 of those turnovers ended up in touchdowns. The other 2 ended in field goals. But my point is, we only lost by 5 points. off of turning the ball over 4 times. I'm not going to commend the Niners, but damn, this should have been a blowout. That's how bad, in my opinion, the Jaguars were. They created and generated 4 turnovers and won by 5. And if you take away the special teams touchdown, I mean, the Niners win this game. You take away 7 points, that's 19. Niners win this game 21-19. It's weird. It's like really weird. So like maybe it was a gritty game. I didn't see it as gritty because that felt like the players they weren't playing like that. But look, overall, like 21-26, tons of things to work on. Offensively, the Niners just weren't it. Like the Niners offensively they were just a shell of themselves. And you can start with the offensive line, but I'm going to start with the quarterback. Like, because as much as I wanted Brock Purdy to play in this game, and as well as I thought Brock Purdy played at times, he went through a stretch where he was the worst player on the football field. Hands down. Hands down. 3 of the turnovers came from Brock Purdy. He had 2 interceptions, and he had the fumble that ended the game, which was and these are a lot of people are like, oh, Jake Brendel got to make the block. Jake Brendel did block. Brock got to step up in the pocket or get rid of the ball. Like, bro, you can't hold the ball for 4 seconds anymore. Like, it's just not that NFL, man. I didn't say it was a great block, but if he would have did anything else, it would have been holding. If the worst case scenario in that situation, Brock just takes the sack. Brock was going to try to extend the play, and he runs into the arm of the defender, and they're coming in swiping. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. But at the end of the day, I feel like Brock didn't have what it took to win this game. Now, back to Jack's comment. She said she likes the gritty games. If Brock somehow on the last drive found a way to win this game, I would have went with the grit. Because my quarterback, who I'm paying $85 billion to, figured it out. Like, oh, yeah. I'm expecting Brock to not turn that rock over when the game matters. This wasn't a game where you had to seal the deal or run the clock. No, we were losing. We needed Brock to step up. I'm going to be harder on Brock Purdy than any player on this team because his contract says so. And I'm not going to compare Brock to Jimmy Garoppolo or whatever, but this was a Jimmy Garoppolo-esque type of a game performance from Brock Purdy, in my opinion. I said that last night on the reaction show. I expect more from Brock. Now, Brock finished the game 22 for 38, right? 309 yards. All right. He also finished the game with 2 TDs. Got a little creative with the shovel pass TD, and he had the TD to Jake Tonjes. But at the end of the tight end screen. But at the end of the day, him turning the ball over 3 times, not just twice, 3 times was bad. Now, first one, I thought the pass was high. They didn't even credit him to that. They didn't even credit him for that pass. A drop. Christian McCaffrey had a drop in this game. They only credited him with 1 drop. Okay? He only had 1 drop in this game. So I just want to put that out there. All right? Now, that first pass to Christian McCaffrey, he should have caught it. I'm not going to sit there and say that he shouldn't have caught it. People that say he should have caught that pass, you're right. But damn, that's not Juwan Jennings. That's Christian McCaffrey. The reach is different. The stretch is different. Blah, 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 blah. All that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, I feel like he's got to find a way to catch that pass, even though he didn't. But if Brock just puts the ball in a better place for Christian McCaffrey, that's a pass, that's a catch, that's big gain after the catch. It is what it is. We got a super chat from Jack. Wayne, is Brock still hurt? Look at Tanisha's comment. All right, so we're going to get to some of that. I just went off tangent and started talking about the game. My bad. Let's see. What did Tanisha say? Let's see. Anyway, back to the situation. Like Brock, in my opinion, just he didn't make the right decisions, which to me made him not good. Not good. Now, if he was hurt, look, this is the NFL. Everybody's playing hurt. Nobody's 100%. Nobody. Not one player in the NFL right now in week 4 is playing at 100%. So everybody is playing with some type of a knick-knack, packety-whack of an injury. But Brock Purdy, if you say you could play, I don't want to hear no toe shit later on. Right, and right now, that's what we get. Kyle Shanahan said Brock called him and said my toe hurt. Bruh. But he also said my toe didn't hurt during the game. Here's my thing. Brock, get you some wide-ass cleats. I wear wide shoes when I run because my foot expands. Get you a half a size bigger and make it a little wider because cleats are narrow and your toe won't hurt as much. Look, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to use that type of an injury as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Brock wasn't on his A game. He was like on his D+ game. I don't give a fuck if he threw for 309 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played D+ football. His decision making was terrible. Hey, welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Motherfucking round of applause to me. I don't give a fuck. That's exactly what I saw. And every time I wanted to give him a chance, I'm like, yeah, he gonna come back. He turns it over again. He turns it over again. I don't know if this is the comment you were talking about. We need a heavy dose of Robinson against the Rams in case Ricky and JJ can't go. All right, so yeah, about that. I wish we had a different. A lot of people are going to blame Kyle Shanahan for this. I think when it comes to pass protection from the running back position, it limits who Kyle wants on the football field. I think Bobby Turner still is in control of his backs, but I think Kyle and the pass pro and the way defenses are defending the run this year against the 49ers, they made the 49ers run game obsolete. Like, there's no run game. I think we averaged like 70 yards a game after the 4 games. And Christian McCaffrey as a running back is looking like a shell of himself. A lot of people feel like he's lost his step, but I'm like, I don't think he lost the burst. I mean, by the time when the ball is hiked, the motherfucker, they in the backfield. How you lose burst if they already in the backfield? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. All right. So she says Purdy is still injured and he forced himself to play a terrible game. Injured or not, ask me. I'm paying you $265 million motherfucking dollars. If you not on the IR, you need to be out there playing. And you need to be playing to your best ability. I didn't see that injury F with his mobility. I didn't see that injury F with him moving the ball with his feet. What I did see him mess up was his decision making. And if you're going to tell me that a toe injury changed the way he threw the play, that doesn't even make sense because he missed the easy throws and was chucking the ball down the motherfucking football field. So I don't see how a toe soreness injury rushed. I don't get it. That doesn't equate in my head. At the end of the day, Brock just made bad decisions. Last play of the game, he fumbled the ball. They ain't had nothing to do with his toe. The guy was right in front of him, and he throws it down the football. He's trying to chuck it down the football field for a big play. And yeah, I'm all about explosive plays. I do a whole show on the Patreon about explosive plays. When there's no explosive plays, I'm bored. But this is you're trying to win a game, Brock. So you have to make better decisions. Unless the pain and radiation of the pain in his foot was that severe, which I don't know, in his toe, I don't know. Everybody has pain tolerance. I'm not saying he didn't play hurt, but I'm a guy that thinks everybody in the NFL is playing hurt. You think Christian McCaffrey not playing hurt? You think Juwan Jennings not playing hurt? I mean, the dude got cracked in the ribs and literally came back into the game. Everybody's playing hurt at this point. There's no way you rush that. He wasn't rushed back. He just, and let me just explain something about that too, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, Brock Purdy shouldn't have played. Hold up. So you mean to tell me you want Brock Purdy to come out in his first game back against that Rams defense? Make that shit make sense, because it don't make sense. If anything, he needed to get right against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. They got a top 5 rushing defense. They did their job. They took away the run. They forced us to throw the ball, and Brock didn't answer the call. Guess what the Rams are going to do? Throwback came on here and said, we're going to lose Thursday. You're damn right. Unless you figure out a way to have better, successful, efficient throws. They didn't stick to any of my keys to victory. Like, none of them. None of them. Oscar, can we get Martinez in the game? All right, so this is what I was talking about, because Mac Jones has a PCL injury in his knee. That's one of the ligaments, the posterior ligament in the knee is injured. And so you want to throw him out there and possibly be done for the season? I think you're going to have to either let Martinez rock or get one of them guys you had earlier. Like, come back. I don't know. I don't know. You know, and listen, you guys are open to your opinion. If you feel like we rush Brock back, that's fine, but he had to play at some point. So whenever he came back, you could have said, oh, I feel like we rushed Brock Purdy back. Brock Purdy could have came back in week 13, looked like shit. You're going to sit there and say, oh, I feel like we rushed Brock Purdy back? No. He just didn't have a good game. This was the game he needed to play in before they get on the road in the short week, you know. But at the end of the day, look, Brock just didn't look good. I thought the offense, you know, just recapping the game, I thought the offense was just a shell of themselves. Once again, another game with piss poor run blocking. You know, I never thought I would miss guys like George Kittle. We're an outside zone team. We can't play outside zone football without George Kittle, because there's no other guy on the outside kicking off and sailing off the edge when Trent Williams is already down the field and he's got his guy pancaked on the ground. Where's the next guy up for the running back to bounce to the edge? I don't think CMC has lost a burst. There's nowhere for him to run. He's running into traffic as soon as he gets the ball. He had an 11-yard gain, tied for first with him and Brian Robinson. They both had 11-yard runs in this game. But at the end of the day, they were playing the run. They were literally playing the run. And you know, I asked everybody what they thought the biggest problem was. And I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest problem is. All right. I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest problem is right after this. So I offensively, the Niners, in my opinion, you know, just didn't look like the efficient version of the San Francisco 49ers. And I thought in order to beat this team, efficiency was key. But here's what the numbers are going to tell you. The numbers are going to tell you that the Niners put up 389 yards, almost 400 yards. They averaged 6.2 yards per play. All right. They only had 5 penalties total throughout the game. So the team itself, right, they still put up 2 touchdowns. They were 1 for 3 in the red zone, and they were pretty damn decent on third down. 8 for 13. You mean to tell me we lost this game and we went 62% on third down? The Niners offense, a lot of people were like, oh, Kyle Shanahan play call. What, huh? Like, I don't even get that. I don't know how you can talk about his play calling. You might talk about his play selection as far as running to throw. We ran the ball 29 motherfucking times. Like, that's what we did. We ran the ball 29 times and we got 70 yards, 83 yards, 24 times, 83 yards. I want to make sure my numbers are correct. Teams are forcing us to throw the ball. Got to make the right throws. This is coming down to put the game on the quarterback. Name a team. That's what top defenses are doing in the league. Defenses are going to sit there and force the quarterback to throw the ball. They're going to force it. All right, 49ers throwback super chat. Wayne, can't believe you giving Trent a free pass. All right, so please somebody tell me what Trent Williams did in this game that makes him so bad. And I'm going to go over grades, and I hate to say it, but he's the highest graded offensive player. Now, he gave up 4 pressures in this game. All right, 4 quarterback hurries. So are we really going to cry about the hurries, or are we going to say, oh, he still protected the quarterback didn't get hit, nor did he give up a sack? So what poison are we picking when we're talking about Trent Williams here? Because you're looking at a guy that's taking on double teams every single play, and the way that they're coming at him is totally different than how we usually see people come at Trent Williams. So I'm just curious, because he wasn't the worst offensive lineman on the football field, and graded wise, he was the best. So I'm just curious. I'm not giving him a pass. He's not playing all pro football, but he's not playing terrible football. I think the fact that the Niners are dropping back 38, 41, 39 times every single freaking game out of 66 snaps, it just wears a toll on you. Offensive linemen like to run the ball. And when you can't run the ball, so yeah, he's not the best player on the football field, but he's not the worst. You know what I mean? In my opinion, he's not the worst. He's not the worst. So I'm not giving him a pass. I just don't see what the big hoopla is. No offensive lineman is playing great. Not for the Niners, but guess what they're not giving up this year? Sacks. So are we mad that they're giving up pressures? Or are we happy that they're not giving up sacks? I don't know. So pick your poison. Ty, what's going on, man? Defense plays well. We're going to get to the defense, but not being able to stop the third. You're not going to talk to me about that third and motherfucker. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. I forgot this is not the overreaction show and it's late at night. I got kids watching, students at the school still support. So my bad. That 3rd and 15 pissed me the off. Okay, I'm going to get to that. And teams aren't afraid to go for it on 4th down against us. Most frustrating. Yo, I kept on a live feed, I kept saying, hey, man, they're going to keep going for it on 4th down. And you know how you know it, but you're hoping that they don't do it, but you know that they're going to do it? I'm with you, Ty. When I say that we brothers from another mother, bro, like you share all my sentiments, and you weren't with me on the live. Everything you just said in your super chat was everything that I talked about, because I couldn't. There's so many intricate things that need to be adjusted, not fixed, just adjusted. It's like you gotta fine tune some things. I really think that Nick Bosa injury is gonna come back and haunt us more than anything. At some point, the offense is gonna get right, but the defense, I think, is gonna take more time rushing. You want to talk about rushing? Now you're talking about rushing developing players. And guess whose name we didn't call this game? I called his name out one time. I thought he had 1 tackle for a loss. Bryce Huff. What about the pressures, though? 5 total pressures. 5 total pressures. The defense had 5 pressures. I'm too slow finding that button right now, and I'm doing my best to edit it out. They had 5 pressures. 5. The good news is the trade deadline is coming up and is approaching, and we know one thing about John Lynch. He will make a trade. So I'm just going to hold my high horses. There was one more thing I needed to talk about the offense before we talk about the defense. Thank you, Ty, for that. Now, I thought the Niners had about 6 drops. So with my eyes, I saw them drop the ball about 6 times. But according to the stats, they dropped the ball 4 times, which let me know that some of the drops that I thought were drops weren't drops. They were bad passes or uncatchable passes. And so what you have to understand is that I thought a lot of Brock Purdy, and it's not to shoot on Brock, but a lot of his passes were high. And I heard them talk about that in the presser when they said that a lot of your throws were high in practice this week. It makes sense. See, we don't be having the context, and then we see the game, and then we're just like, why does motherfucker keep throwing the ball so goddamn high? It's because that's what he's been doing. So back to my sister Tanisha's comment, yo, the dude was playing hurt, but he wasn't playing injured. He was physically able to perform. He just wasn't at 100%. That maybe the toe does affect his throws or how he plants his foot or whatever. I don't know, but he needs, if the pain, he's able to withdraw the pain and he's able to get out there. This is where efficiency comes in. And so why are we not being efficient? That to me is a question I have for Kyle Shanahan. You want to know what makes me upset with Kyle? Where's the efficiency? Why not? But to be fair to Kyle, because I got to be 100% transparently and clearly fair. Those efficient throws were built into play. Brock just didn't take them. He was pushing the ball down the field, which we want to see, but the guys ain't wide open. We don't want to see it. There's a check down right in front of you. On that play, you fumbled the ball. You had the tight end right there in front of you, bro. You right there. You just live to the next play. Worst case scenario, you take the sack. Best case scenario, you still stole it to the guy right there. He was right there, Brock. Like you could have flick. I'm trying to do the flick. Just flicked it, shoveled it. He was right there. But he was trying to dial it up, man. He's trying to dial it up. That's why I said that the decision making was terrible. Jaguar, I can't wait to get to the film. Oh my God. I can't wait because then I could really dig into it, which I should be able to get into after the show. But offensively, the drops were bad. Christian McCaffrey had a bad drop. No one's drop was worse than Kendrick Bourne's. Kendrick Bourne led the game in drops. He had 3 drops in this game. The Niners had 4 total drops according to statistics, which let me know I had counted 6 in the game, but that first pass from Christian McCaffrey wasn't a drop. The second one was, though. First pass was high. I said Brock put it too high for him to have to go reach out and grab it. He said he should have caught it. I thought he should have caught it too, but it was just a high pass. He's not Jawan Jennings. I mean, think about it. The Marcus Robinson pass was the catch. How high was that? Jawan Jennings pass, both of them. The one for the 2-point conversion and the one prior to that. How high was those? But those are your 50-50 ball guys. Christian McCaffrey, not a contested 50-50 ball guy. He's catches it in the rhythm. He's a rhythm guy. You got to throw it to him. Never mind. I'm overreacting. That's what I'm doing. It's not an overreaction show. This is the Wayne Breezie Show. Let me calm down for a second. Let me clap so I can calm down for a second. My bad, y'all. We got some super chats I want to get to, man. KB did his best. Oh, this is cold. I can't do that. That's so cold. Yo, my boy MAJ catches strays. But yo, he dropped 3 passes. That there was one pass that if he caught it, he's slow, but if he would have caught it, I mean, he had an opportunity to score a touchdown. There was nobody in front of him. Hey, he did make a big catch though. A big kind of like one of those catches. He did. But damn. 3 of them drops. That was cold, Nigel. That's why you my dog, because you keep it cold. Here's my guy, X-Man. He was on the Patreon. Oh my gosh. He said yo, I want to apologize to the players during the game because whatever I tweet is exactly how I'm feeling at the moment. So don't take it with a grain of salt. But his ass gotta go. Like that moment right there, he had to go. Like at that moment, he made up for it because he made another big catch. But this moment right here, X-Man 2, if he catches that, the offense is in rhythm and Brock doesn't turn the ball over again. See? It's always a setup play. If he catches that, Brock doesn't throw the interception. Damn, KB. Got to catch that pass. You got to catch the wide open pass. And I love KB more than the next guy. But if y'all not going to give Ronnie Bell a shot, you can't. Whoever dropped the ball don't get a shot. Christian McCaffrey, Got to catch that pass. It was a pass that was right to him. He jumped. Why is everybody jumping? What is he trying to jump cut? Stop jumping, catch the fucking ball, and be ready for the hit or make a person miss. The fact that he jumped on that pass is why he dropped it. There's no love for drops. No love for drops. I have no love for drops. If it's a bad pass, I will call out and say that pass was uncatchable. But drops? Psh. Jaguar says I should review the film. I'm not saying Purdy didn't F up. I'm just saying before the F ups came. I'm going to review the film. I'm curious to know why he didn't check the ball down. The second interception was tipped, but he was literally throwing it to the teeth of the defense. So I can't even. I know my man Eric Crocker was like, "Yo, I think this was an interception, even if the ball wasn't tipped. He was throwing it into the teeth, like the safeties. He was literally throwing it to them. It was like maybe it was a miscommunication on the route or whatever. That was the second interception. I don't know, man. Purdy just didn't look good. He didn't look good enough, in my opinion, to win a gritty game or to come back and win the game. That's what I saw. Defensively, I clap my hands to the defense again because for 4 weeks straight, 4 weeks straight, I watched the defense ball out. Now, I'm going to tell you where the defense is going to struggle for the remainder of the year. Man, I miss Nick Bosa because the run, we talking about pressures, we talk about this, we talk about that. Defense gave up 325 total yards. Okay. They gave up a lot of yards. All right, cool. They gave up 3 touchdowns. Okay. Yo, take away those explosive plays. The Jaguars don't win this game. Now, Michael Williams needs to take a class on setting the edge. Now, I'm not going to be fully harsh on Michael Williams. I'm not. And I could tell you why. But I do have to point out, and I could be wrong. I didn't watch the film, but I thought from what I saw in the game, that 48-yard touchdown run was because Michael Williams over-pursued on the edge. And then he was playing chase down. Bro, you not catching him. D. Winters couldn't even catch him. Like, you thought you was going to catch Travis Etienne? No. But had you set the edge and D. Winters was able to come downhill and forced him back inside to make the tackle, nobody's chasing him down. Now it's just a one-on-one open space tackle. Michael, that play, in my opinion, was on Michael Williams. I could be wrong, but that play, to me, was on Michael Williams. So I need him to be better. Now, I can't fully blame him because that cat's been playing inside all season long, and he was asked to play outside once Nick Bosa came. And I thought that was going to be a big adjustment for him, and I was hoping they would have went with a different lineup. Don't move him to the outside. Keep him on the inside, right? And then put somebody else on the outside. But that's the way they went on that particular play. And again, I got to watch the film to make sure I'm breaking it down and I'm saying everything right. But just from the eye test and what I saw, if you contain that, you don't give up the 48-yard. And I like the 48 yards was one thing, but the touchdown was the other thing because it shifted the momentum of the game. We were up 3-0, and then boom, 7-3. 7-3. Run defense is going to hurt unless they figure out how to contain on the edge. They got to set the edge. They got to force the runners to cut that ball inside. And if you get beat inside, now we could talk missed tackles. You know what I'm saying? Now we could talk missed tackles. Speaking of missed tackles, I need to know how many goddamn missed tackles this defense had in this game. I almost forgot to look that up. And y'all know I'm a stickler on 7. Not bad at all. 7 from 11 to 7. We had 2 weeks back to back at 11. You had 5, 11, 11, 7. I said, this is an improvement. This is an improvement for me. 7 missed tackles on an elusive Travis Etienne. Several tackles for a loss. I got them in my book. I know that. But damn, they could not limit the explosive plays. The 48-yard touchdown wasn't the only one. He had another big one. Pause. Run defense, though. Whew. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, man. I'm a little nervous about the run defense. And we play Kyron Williams next. I'm a little nervous about the run defense. Nigel, thoughts on the stout phantom call? PI. Look, I got a bunch of people messaging me, telling me that was the right call. He pulled the jersey. I don't know how I ain't see the pulling of the jersey. Now, maybe I'm not saying he didn't. But if that pulling of the jersey is what catapulted Upton Stout to jump that route, okay. Number one, I didn't see the pulling of the tug of the jersey. I didn't see that. I saw a player that looked like he knew the play and jumped the route. Now I see Richard Sherman said it was BS. Richard Sherman hit me with the little boy. Yup. I thought it was bull crap as well. And in a game where I thought the officials got stuff wrong. If you tell me if the NFL official went up to Kyle Shanahan and apologized about that, not allowing him to decline the penalty to make it 3rd and 12 instead of 2nd and 17, I think that's the 3rd and 15 we gave up too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh shit! If he apologized for that, if they apologized for that, I know they got this call wrong. I know they got this call wrong. I do. So that phantom call, it was a phantom call, man. This is the second time they did it. It happened in week 2, I think, for Upton Stout. They called a PI toward the end of the game, and I was like, that's ticky-tacky, man. That's ticky-tacky. All right, Jaguar, you going back to y'all saying it's too high passes Brock threw, but if he had the White, Clark, or Rice, they catching those high passes, but you just answered my question. He didn't have them. He doesn't have the White Clark or Jerry Rice. So the passes can't be high. You have to know your personnel. You threw it to Jawan Jennings, and he can go up and catch the 50-50 contested catches. You threw it to DeMarcus Robinson. He made a fingertip miraculous catch. I even think Ricky Pearsall at times, depending on the route, can make that catch. But Christian McCaffrey not making that catch. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay that I'm saying that he threw some of those passes high because they were high passes. And what confirmed it was the fact that he was throwing those high passes in practice. And I'm not saying the passes need to be right to the wide receiver. No, but a couple of those passes were high, And then when you throw high passes, you're leaving your receivers sometimes open for the body blows. So Jawan Jennings got rib rocked, We call high passes, when it was Jimmy Garoppolo, we call them hospital balls. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till I got to watch the film. No one's telling me how Trent looked horrible. All I keep hearing is Trent looked horrible. Again, he gave up 4 pressures. That's horrible. That's terrible. Excuse me. But I got to see how he looked horrible. I didn't see it. I got to see how he looked horrible. It is what it is. Miss Leslie in the building. She says, I think we do need a real analysis that is devoid of emotion. The D made some mistakes. That can be corrected. Brock made a few bad throws, but overall played well for being out 2 weeks in a row. That's what I was saying. Like, overall, Brock Purdy statistically played great. Played well. It's moments, though. It's the moments. Like football, and here's why I say it's the moments. Because in football, some statistics are padded stats. End of the game, you're going to throw the ball, you're not going to run the ball, it's going to chuck it, you're going to get all, their defense are playing off coverage, they're leaving open underneath, you throw the ball underneath. So your stats get made up in certain situations in the NFL. It was just moments. It was just a certain moments. I just didn't think Brock was in the moment. He wasn't carpe diem. He wasn't seizing the day. He wasn't. He made mistakes at the worst opportune times, almost like how the offensive line get called for penalties to be at the worst opportune times. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy was bad, but offensively, he just wasn't the best player on the football field as a quarterback should be. Quarterback should always be the best player on the football field. Now, what he didn't have was some of his best weapons, and a lot of players let Brock down. 4 drops is a lot. So, damn it, catch the ball. If you get paid to catch, gotta catch the ball. If you get paid to block, gotta block. If you get paid to throw, gotta throw. See what I'm saying? If you get paid to run, well, you need help with the run because the offensive line ain't blocking. So I get this. I think overall Brock didn't look super terrible, but he definitely didn't do what he needed to do to win this game. And and the simple fact that the Niners had an opportunity to win. If we didn't have an opportunity to win, I wouldn't care if Brock played bad. But you mean to tell me we could have won this game with 3 minutes left on the clock? Brock can't turn that ball over, man. He don't get that pass from me. He got to hold on to that rock. He's got to figure out a way to make that play, live to the next down, play smarter football. That's what Brock's got to do. That's what Brock's got to do. We expect the players to catch it. I expect Brock to make the right decisions. Not perfect decisions, just the right ones. That's all. All right, injuries. Ricky Pearsall, knee injury, returned to the game. Juwan Jennings, ribs return. Jake Tonjes got the stinger and the shoulder injury, returned to the game. Now Brock Purdy, we're talking about his toe situation. They're going to monitor it. It's day-to-day. It's going to be day-to-day for the rest of the year for Brock Purdy with the toe. Let's just call it like it is. Day-to-day, Brock Purdy with the toe. Let's go over some of these grades because we got the top 5 and bottom 5 offensive and defensive grades. Trent Williams, Colt McKivitz, Jake Tonjes, Kyle Juszczyk, DeMarcus Robinson, top 5. Whenever I see a grade in the 70s, that's not good to me. I just want people to understand I'm an 80-plus guy. I don't expect anything less than an 80. That's my expectation. He was damn near close, but it still wasn't an 80. I see pass protection was an issue. He gave up the 4 pressures. He had a 69.3 pass blocking grade, but he had an 82.3 run blocking grade. So he was more efficient in run blocking than he was in the pass pro. He did give up 4 pressures. He was the second leading offensive lineman in giving up pressures in this game, Connor Colby being number 1. So, yeah, if you say Trent Williams had a bad game, understood. He gave up 4 quarterback hurries. I want to make sure I let people know what those pressures are. It wasn't hits and it wasn't sacks. It was just a little speed up of the game for the Brock Purdy. Bottom 5 offensively. Oh, man. Let's start with Kendrick Bourne being the worst graded player in the game. He played 44 snaps. Luke Farrell, Sky Moore, Christian McCaffrey, and Braden Willis. Braden Willis came in the game. He played a couple of snaps, if I'm not mistaken, when Jake Tonjes went out the game. The Luke Farrell turnover was most pivotal because that is what set up their touchdown. That turnover was crucial. I didn't even get a chance to get on Luke Farrell, but that turnover was crucial because it was on a positive play. The Niners were driving, and they looked like they were going to go up and score more points. They turn the ball over, and the defense gives up a 48-yard run. Touchdown run. So those are your offensive grades. Defensively, Fred Warner, just cream of the crop. Fred Warner had 8 tackles in this game. 6 of them were solo tackles. He had the forced fumble. Congratulations. We got to congratulate Fred Warner. Fred Warner, congratulations, big dog. 17 career forced fumbles. He just surpassed the great, the legend, Patrick Willis. I remember me having this conversation about, is Fred better than Patrick Willis and this is that and the third and everything. And it is funny because if he's not, He is definitely getting there. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's definitely getting there. And what's going on, Kenny? And Kenny said, hey man, he had 2 pick opportunities. The only thing I'm going to ask Fred Warner to do, and he ain't got to listen to my suggestions. These are just suggestions because I constructively try to criticize my players. You know, I don't just sit there and talk about how bad they are. I talked about how bad Brock was, but I suggested things that he could do. He could wear bigger shoes if he's having toe issues. That's what my doctors told me, right? Anyway, Fred, hit the jug machine, dog. Them balls, you're going to get the opportunities. The opportunities are coming. For some reason, your hands and your brain, they're not in sync. That's all. That's all it is. The eyes are there. You're in the right depth. I remember there was a time where Fred would play the wrong depth of the position and the ball go slightly over his fingertips. Nah, he right there. It just ain't mathing up in his head yet. If Fred hit that jug machine, though, I guarantee you them hands will get stronger. You know what I mean? And he'll catch those passes. I think Fred's going to have the first interception on the team. First interception on the team. Golly. Fred, 90.9 for Fred Warner. Number 2, Yetur Gross-Matos. He played 20 snaps in this game. 76.9. Bryce Huff played 38 snaps, 71.7. Luke Gifford. You saw Luke Gifford used on the edge as well. He was standing up playing that kind of like Leo edge rusher, right? Like kind of like 19 snaps. He had a 70.5. Darrell Luter Jr. made his first NFL career start. He had a 64.6 grade. And starting for Renardo Green. My suggestion for Darrell, though, listen, I don't know what they're asking you to do, but man, when you play jam up on the line, then Brian Thomas couldn't get open. I hate that. You know what I hate about the defense? I hate the soft coverage and the press coverage at the same time. I hate it. I hate giving up the cushion. Because all they're going to do, if you got a good route runner, is run the route, stop, turn around, curl route, boom. Those routes are always advantage wide receiver. Just jam them up. And if you get beat, you got the safeties over the top. Right? No? Me? Not me? Oh, okay. Red Jet Show, what's going on, sis? Bryant says, question, do we need a true, I don't know why people think we need a running back. I mean, we got running backs, right? I mean, you can even let Jordan. If people feel like CMC has lost his burst, I mean, you have a running back that's nothing but burst. His name is Jordan James. I'm sure his thumb, wrist, or whatever was injured is healed by now. Just put him in a rotation. Love Brian Robinson Jr., but I don't understand, like, around the goal line. Like, how is he not getting the ball? Like, that's where his strength is. So we're not even using him right because you're trying to get him acclimated to this outside zone bull crap. I saw him dancing and prancing around like he was the reindeer. At the end of the day, you got bursting running backs. So I don't think you need a running back. But edge? Are you asking me this question, Bryant, because are you suggesting that we trade Christian McCaffrey for a premier edge rusher? Is that where this is going? I'm just curious to know because I see that. And I'm going to remember, I asked you guys at the beginning of the show what was the biggest problem with the 49ers. Trust me, I ain't forget. I did not forget. Now, very quickly, I just want to go over some of the good, some of the bad, some of the ugly. And we already know, the turnovers were terrible. The turnovers for the 49ers were just terrible. And, before I get into the good, let's just talk about the good. Let's focus on the good. All right. Good number one. All right. Good number one. I thought Christian McCaffrey continues to carry this offense. I think Christian McCaffrey continues to be the only sustainable, consistent type of offense that the San Francisco 49ers have. He's 17 carries, 49 yards. He had 11 targets, 6 receptions for 92 yards and a touchdown. All right, 92 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey continues to figure out ways week in and week out to carry the offense. I would be a little leery on like how I come at Christian McCaffrey. He's utilized differently this year. They're not running the ball as sufficient as they normally do, and he's being efficient in the pass catching game, in the receiving game. So, got to work on catching some passes. He had a miss. He gave up a pressure in this game. That's normally not what he does. Hence why the low grade. But I think Christian McCaffrey still carries the offense more good defensively. Fred Warner continues to just shine. We talked about his career moment. I mean, the dude was flying on the field, and he had the opportunities to get turnovers. He just couldn't seize them, right? He just couldn't come through and seize that, and I'm sure he's going to beat himself up about it, and that's good because he feels like he can be that much more better, and I love that about Fred Warner. And then the other good, had three goods. Eddie Pinheiro has yet to miss. This cat is money. Eddie De Niro Pinheiro is money, and this is good because now the Niners know they have a kicker that they can rely on. I think he's now in that confident, I can rely on this guy type thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how far he can kick, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I know when he's asked to kick, he's nailing these kicks. 2 field goals in the game for him, 2 for 2. Let's get to the bad.
What the hell is that shit?
Offensively, they went 1 for 3 in the red zone, 33% of the time. So you mean to tell me they got down there 3 times and only was able to punch it in? And this is not something new. This is the question mark. What the heck is going on when the Niners get there? I don't get it, and I understand the field shortens. There's more players in the box. There's less space to move and operate and throw certain types of passes. There's no explosive throws in the red zone. What happened? The Niners got to figure out when they get down there, they get in that 20-yard line, they got to figure it out because teams are going to let you get to the 1. You get to the 1, we can't even score from the 1. That's a motherfucking problem. That's a bad problem to have. You get to the 1-yard line, you're supposed to be able to punch that in. You're supposed to be able to get in there. For some reason, the Niners, man, they just can't score in the red zone. Defensively, people going to be mad because we're going to talk about the bad of the defense. The bad of the defense is 5 stinking pressures, 0 sacks, and 0 quarterback hits. So those 5 pressures were just hurries, and he probably still completed the passes. I don't know. But if you can't generate some type of pressure without blitzing, it's going to be a long season. Yes, the prices. They got to figure that out. Golly. They got to figure out the pressure. And yeah, you can blitz. Here's the gamble of blitzing. If your blitzer doesn't get home and is effective on the blitz, let's just say the blitz gets picked up. Guess what happens? Somebody's wide open. So it's a gamble. Some people like to live on the edge. I don't. I want to be efficient. I think the Niners need to keep it simple, stupid, especially going into week 5. All right, let's get to the ugly, because the ugly is where we just got to sit back and we just got to laugh. because it was just ugly. The 4 turnovers. Ugly. I mean, I'm happy that they were in this game with 4 turnovers, but there's no way y'all thought we were going to win this game with at least not evening out or going 2-4 or 1-2 or whatever. Damn, we needed to even it out or get close. We didn't even have 1. That was bad. The biggest ugly of this game, even though it should have been a penalty on this play because there was a block in the back, was the 87-yard punt return for a touchdown. Because that is when I think Wayne Breezie threw off the hat and the glasses came flying off. And it was World War 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I didn't understand that. And you know what's funny? I knew it was going to happen. because they gave up a 54-yarder on a kick return prior. And I was like, wait a minute, special teams. Wait. Hold up. Pump the brakes. We getting a little loosey-goosey here. And they were too loosey-goosey for me. Where am I the only people that thought that the special teams was too loosey-goosey? That was ridiculous. Loosey-goosey. Ike, what the freak? He gave up a touchdown on one punt return. He had one return for 87 yards. There was only one return. And it was a touchdown. Oh, man. If you started the Jaguars defense, you were happy. All right. Anyway, 4 kick returns for 103 yards. The Niners special teams is always the weakest freaking link. It's always the weakest link. I get happy, and then I'm like, yeah, we got the fix. That shit is a fix. What are fixes? Fixes get you by for the moment. I don't want a fix. I want a permanent change. We got a new coach, new players. He picked these guys. And how did that happen? Brent Boyer, I got questions. You coached it, and we hold every coach on the 49ers accountable. He don't get a pass. No, he don't. No, he doesn't. Doesn't get a pass. I just don't understand. Because out of all the bad that happened in the game, the 4 turnovers, and it was 3 at that time. It would have been only 3. You give up that? Damn. I don't know. It just doesn't get any uglier than that. So all I could do is sit back and just... That's it. That's all I could do. That's all I can do. No. Don't say nothing. That's all I can do. I look, Rams on the road, NFC West division battle. The Niners got some stuff that they need to do some fine tuning. I will go out here and I think Brock Purdy's going to have a better game. I thought this was a get-right game, a tune-up game, not a trap game, but just a game where he can get back into football shape. I would say that this was we needed this. We needed him to play in this game because we need to be able to make sure that he can withstand some of the NFL valor, right? Because he's going to get – if you thought the offensive line – struggled against the Jags. Hold up, one more time. Yeah. So now you got a young, ferocious defense led by Jarrett Verse and those guys. And yeah, it's going to be fun, to watch. I think the offensive line is going to be all right. Brock has to be better at efficient throwing. We've seen it. I think the issue for me is we've seen Brock Purdy be the most efficient player in the NFL. He was so efficient that we were calling him, or the talking heads were calling him, a system quarterback. A guy that just whatever. Mike and I talked about that on the BAM show. Who cares? Just make the right read. That's it. That's all Brock got to do moving forward. He don't even got to put the team on his back. He just got to move the ball efficiently. Get his guys active. Move. Brock Purdy did one. How many? I only saw one scramble from Brock, but there was 5 scrambles he could have had up the middle. Like, what is he seeing? I don't know. Brock's vision seems a little bit blurred, in my opinion. And so because of the blurred vision, there's gonna if Brock doesn't get his vision tuned up for this offense to take it to another, at least an intermediate level. Right now they playing on rookie. Intermediate level, then we're gonna struggle offensively. It no matter who's out there. Now, I asked everybody at the beginning of the show, we're about to get up out of here. What is the biggest problem of the 49ers or for the 49ers? Or how you want to word it. This is how I'm wording it. I don't give a fuck if it's right or wrong. Biggest problem of the 49ers, and I didn't talk about this, but I wanted to talk about this. The Niners wide receiving core is weak. It's strong in depth, but it's weak as far as what you need your wide receivers to be able to do. And I'm realizing that the Niners have very little wide receivers that can create separation. And that is, in my opinion, why the defenses are playing the defense that they're playing against us. That's why we can't run the ball. And it's weird because we always say, oh, if you run the ball, you can set up play action pass. Yeah, if you run the ball, you can set up play action passing. But play action passing is not the only thing that makes up an offense as far as throwing. Everything's not a play action pass. You have to run successfully in order for it to be a play action pass. So when you're not running successfully, you're not really doing play action. You'll do some boot actions. You'll try to do some naked boots, get out there where there's space in front of you, things like that. I never thought missing Brandon Ayuk was going to be this bad for the 49ers. And George Kittle. Those are your man separating beaters. Them two guys. And Brock having Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings is a contested catch receiver. It's different than a route running, man beating, creating separation type of guy. If you try to jam up Juwan Jennings on a line of scrimmage, he's gonna overpower you. So yeah, he can beat that. But if you give him the space and the cushion, the separation, he doesn't have the speed. Unless he's running a quick slant as he's lined up in the slot. You have to use him right. So when I think about the Niners, I'm like, dang, they got all these wide receivers, but they're all like the same. And Ricky Pearsall right now, dealing with this knee injury, potentially a PCL injury, is probably the only receiver you have that can create some type of separation. If the Niners wide receiving group can't figure that out, we will never be able to run the ball successfully. Like, until Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle returns. Because they will help stretch the field and take some of them motherfuckers out the box. Does that make sense? And so the defenses are cheating. And it's legally cheating. Just like it was legally stealing signs. Just like Robert Salo's about to knock the shit out of him. But at the end of the day, my point is, like, they got to figure out how to negate that. Henceforth, get back to the quick throws, get back to the screen game, get back to yak football, and then I think the Niners offense will find itself back to where it normally is. I think not having the yak in there, I think that's a problem. You know what I mean? I truly do. Nothing but Niners. I got to try to guess who this is for nothing but Niners because like 85 people run this account. All right, so let me just read the question. Do you actually own... So this is Mike, because only Mike would ask this dumbass shit. So Mike, I want to know. No, I don't, but I want it. I don't know how to get it. Is there a way to get it? Because if there's a way to get it, can somebody send me a link so I can order me my own Funko Pop? Because I really like that. Shout out to Mariah. Mariah created this for me. You know what I'm saying? Mariah. Y'all better follow her. But at the end of the day, look, all I'm saying is, I think if the Niners receiving core was just a little bit different, and I'm hoping DeMarcus Robinson helps change that, but if he can't create separation, the Niners are stuck with the same type of wide receivers, and these defenses are going to play up in the box and force Brock to throw the ball high, low, in between. They need some separators, man. They need some freaking separators. You know what I mean? They need some separators. So it is what it is, man. Look, the Niners, they got beat. They didn't get mollywopped, but they got beat. They fell short, in my opinion, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the good news, the bright side is they lost by 5 points in a game that they could have won with all of the adversity going on. From the injuries, the turnovers, the special teams touchdown, they still had a shot. I don't know if you need a better bright side than that, but in my opinion, it gets no brighter than that. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. We went a little bit over time right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. Shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew members for sure. Air horns out there. If I didn't get to call out your name, you was late. Love y'all. Until the next time, keep it faithful to the Bay.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.